Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is Red Prison. This is a deck from subscriber Caleb, and Caleb wanted me to play the classic prison version. There are aggressive versions floating around right now that play all 8 Rabble Masters in the main deck. I have 2 extra ones in the sideboard here, but some decks play all 8 in the main. And then there's some like Conspiracy or Commander Legends creature. I forget the name of it. It's like a 4/3 that gives you a new hand or something when it hits. But that's not the version we have here. This is the classic Chalice of the Void, Trinisphere, 8 Blood Moons, Karn, Chandra. That's the plan. This deck was popularized in the very end of the Deathrite Shaman metagame, because Deathrite Shaman decks had a really hard time beating Blood Moon. And if they could beat a Blood Moon, they couldn't really beat Fiery Confluence or Chandra. So this deck was the perfect pinch on the best deck of the format. And the second best deck in that format was lands, which really struggles with Blood Moon, obviously, because lands are the type of card that Blood Moon affects. So this deck rose to popularity very quickly because it beat the rock and the paper of the metagame, and it was just some sort of like super scissors that came in and snipped everything apart, including the rock. So this deck's been around since that point. This deck is also the reason that I fell in love with basic lands. If you watch my channel, you know I'm always like, play a bunch of basics, get your mana under you. That era when Grixis Delver, lands, and Red Prison were the 3 best decks in the format. All 3 of those decks have something in common, and that's attacking non-basic lands. So there's your history lesson for today, your personal history lesson about where I came to fall in love with playing basics. But now I am the enemy today. I've gotten a lot of requests for prison decks lately, which I don't know if that's a sign of the times or what, but I've played Urza Prison, White Stacks, Curses, like mono black prison decks, and now we're doing the red one. So in case it is unclear what this deck is trying to do, it's primarily trying to get Blood Moon into play early and often. You have the full 8 soul lands, all 4 Chrome Mox, one of them's a different art, but all 4 are here, and 4 Simian Spirit Guide. Like, these are basically all of the ways you could reasonably expect a deck to get to 3 mana on turn 1, or at least a mono red deck. And that's the plan. Stick Blood Moon and then hope it's good enough to win somehow. Trinisphere is sort of a pseudo Blood Moon. All the cards in your deck, except for Chrome Mox, and I guess sometimes Chalice of the Void, cost more than 3 anyway, so Trinisphere is not really going to slow you down. And Goblin Rabble Master is a 3-drop that gets the game over pretty quickly. Bone Crusher Giant is a 3-drop that can get the game over pretty quickly. Chandra, Karn, like, those are your win conditions. Shatterskull Smashing was a huge addition to this deck out of Zendikar Rising, because it is both a land and a pretty potent removal spell when you have a bunch of mana and just need to get something off the board. So this is really not rocket science. We are going to try to get to 3 mana and jam Hateful Things onto the stack and hope that Blood Moon is good. So that's the plan. Let's get into it. On the play, in round number 1, we have a turn 2 Magus of the Moon. I think we can do better. So on the mulligan, we have not done better. Second mulligan, I can at least Chalice of the Void with this hand. Don't love this, but I am going to keep it. I'm not going to go to 4 here. Opponent mulled to 6. I think that Chandra is probably the worst card in this hand. Well, I mean, it's the best card in the hand, but I think it's the one I'm least likely to do anything with this game. So I'm going to make my Chalice of the Void and hope that it's good against this deck. And then hope to draw City of Traders immediately. The London Mulligan helped this deck a lot. because this is the sort of deck that wants to explode early and often. City of Traders. Uh-oh. Alright, well, they had a basic swamp go. I guess all I can really hope for is that this is Storm. Oh, God. If it's like Dead Gael, we're just gone. Alright. This Dark Confidant's probably going to shut it down. Alright, I guess they could die to their own Bob. I'll give them the chance to do it. Another one. Alright. I have a plan. It's hit all my land drops for a while, let them die to their own Bobs, and then Fiery Confluence them out. So far, not working. I'm not going to play this Chalice on 0 because Chrome Mox is a card in my deck. Alright, they took 0 off 2 Bob triggers. That doesn't bode well for my plan. They're going to rumble in for 4 damage here. I'm sure the average cost of cards in their deck is less than that. Dothy Voidwalker. Alright, I wonder if that's just in the deck as like a hate bear. Or if it's actually like if they have the Helm combo. Alright, so they let Magus resolve when they could have fetched a swamp. So I'll take that. Still taking 0 off these Bobs. What a life. I guess I do have to start blocking these things. If they want to sack their Dothy Voidwalker... Oh god. I guess I knew about that Wasteland. Alright. I'm done. Yeah, that one obviously didn't work out. The thing about like Stompy decks is that if they mulligan and don't get there, they look pretty bad. Alright, I'm gonna bring in the War Bosses and the Abrades and try to get this game over kind of quickly. They have at least 2 basics in their deck, which makes me... Though we've seen Wasteland, so that is a card that I have a lot of respect for when I'm playing Ancient Tomb decks. Because like we just saw, I'm going to have to keep hands that just like do exactly one thing with exactly the mana available. And being just having not enough Blood Moons to control Wasteland is a problem. So Shatter Skull Smashing is in... Yeah, maybe I don't bring in the War Bosses. Maybe I just bring in the Abrades. Because I expect this to be a Stoneforge Mystic deck. We've already seen Bobs and Voidwalkers. So, can I do better? Like, if I leave in all my moons on the play... On the draw, moon gets worse because they can fetch at least once. But maybe Karn is worse here. Or maybe I don't need all 4 Chalice because the second one is never that good. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to keep in all 8 moons on the play and try to, catch them with their pants down on turn 1. I will change the number of moons in my deck for game 3 if I'm on the draw. Brutal. I do have a Shatter Skull Smashing. So, but, like, I could pitch one of the moons to Chrome Mox, smashing Chalice, then just die to... Like, the Stomp is good, but I don't want to just die to Wasteland. Okay, there we go. This one's a keeper. So I'm going to send... I guess I should probably send... The question is, do I send Chalice of the Void to the bottom, pitch both my red cards to Chrome Mox so I have 4 mana available, and cast Trinisphere? Do I send Chrome Mox to the bottom, pitch Simian Spirit Guide, and jam Blood Moon on turn 1? Do I... Like, Blood Moon keeps me safe from Wasteland. I think I want to go Trinisphere on turn 1, though. Because having the 2 other Mox and red sources is a pretty big deal. Turn 1 3-ball is, like, seriously messed up. I'm a little exposed to Wasteland there. I would need to draw, like, both a threat and a payoff. Or another land and a payoff for the land. If they waste me. This is actually really complicated. If I abandon the Chalice, that's the play I just described. Wow. I wasn't expecting to have to think this hard playing this deck. I'm gonna bottom one of the Chrome Mox, and I'm gonna lead on Blood Moon. That's the plan. That way... Okay, yes. The reason I settled on that is that catches their fetch lands on the play, and it also turns off Wasteland. If I can follow up with a Trinisphere, we're going to have a good time. If I don't draw the mana source for Trinisphere right away, I can at least Chalice on one. Alright, that's the plan. Let me know in the comments if you would have done something different. Alright, they had the basic swamp. Oh god, they have Dark Ritual. Alright, goodbye, hand. It was nice knowing you. And Trinisphere would have been good there, but again, you know, their hand could have Wasteland in it. Who the hell knows? Alright. Time to draw a mana source. Oh, they had the basic planes too? Get out of here. Alright. Let's ride. Do they have Swords to Plowshares right now? Nope, they don't. Okay. Goblins are getting in. They are extremely well set up with their basics, though. So, I imagine some amount of the cards in their deck cost double black. Oh, God. Alright, now I need Bone Crusher Giant immediately. This isn't lining up well. It's safe to say. Alright, Moon Magus, get in. That can at least attack into the Plague Engineer. Goblin Rabblemaster does not have to fight. Just every other goblin does. If I draw a second Rabblemaster, I have to be careful with that, though, because the second Rabblemaster will make the first one fight. And that just rams straight into Plague Engineer, which is no good. So I should probably be attacking with Magus. I don't think they're going to want to trade Bob. And they definitely can't trade Plague Engineer. So I got to push for my damage where I can get it here. Dauthi Voidwalker off the Bob, and they had the swamp too. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the playing a lot of basics. If you can just ignore Blood Moon, this deck falls apart very quickly. All right, I am not gonna make any blocks or trades here. I can attack through the Voidwalker because it has Shadow. Hey, that's the best card I could draw. Stomp the Plague Engineer. Maybe I should have... yeah, damn it. Punished. I should have moved into combat, let this trigger go on the stack, and then stomped the Plague Engineer. I fucked that up. Just these small things that you need to do correctly to get every drop of value out of your cards when you don't necessarily get a bunch of cards in a game. Right, Fracture, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. They should probably just fracture my Chrome Mox right now. Let's hope they don't see that line. And if they fracture my Blood Moon, they can fetch and it turns on their Urborg. But if they fracture my Chrome Mox, I don't get to cast Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, Liliana is mostly whatever. That's gone. Another mountain. They're in for 5 here. Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't take out my Mox. Ooh, Confluence is a good one. Unfortunately, I can't cast it yet, but that is the type of card that can win a game just out of nowhere. Yeah, I guess I forgot about my Blood Moon with the fracturing on Chrome Mox. For some reason, I thought that would take me off red. I mean, it still takes me off 3 mana, which is an important number in this spot, but it does not take me off red. I'm discarding Chrome Mox here, which they could cast with Dauthi Voidwalker if they need another colored source, but I don't think they do. Oh, just hard casting Batterskull. Destroy target artifact, deal... Alright, time to draw a land. A land is actually a gigantic game-winning blowout here. So I take 3 from the Shadow Creature, and please, deck, give me a land. Or Spirit Guide. Moment of Truth. Ugh, fucking Chrome Mox, I hate you so much. That was it. If we could deal 2 to all creatures and destroy target artifact, Batterskull's gone, all their creatures are gone. I attack Liliana, they're on empty. I think I just have to pitch Confluence. No. I just have to discard Chrome Mox and hope to make this play next turn. That sucks. And I'm taking 7 in combat going to 2. And now they have enough mana they can pick up Batterskull. Alright, they just chucked the Liliana in the bin. Oh no, I'm dead because Bob can attack too. Yeah, that was the whole game. Just have mana or not right there. Got squeezed. Got beat by a deck. We had the turn 1 Blood Moon like we were supposed to, but they just went basic Swamp, basic Plains, play the whole game just fine. And their deck is built to ignore this sort of thing, which obviously I respect because that is generally my school of deck building. But it paid off here. On to the next round. On the play in round number 2 with another unplayable 7. Come on, deck. All right, let's average those last 2 hands together for the 5. Okay, I have no red sources in this hand, but I do have a turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Trinisphere. I'm going to keep this. Send one of the Moon Magi to the bottom, and probably City of Traders. I mean, this hand's going to hurt if they are any kind of deck that can attack me. We are very much in on Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere stopping them from playing the game at all. And that is the plan, and it is the only plan. Chalice is in play. Opponent mulled to 5. Maybe they're a Reanimator, and they're just going to have to pass the turn. Or they just play Wasteland and we're dead. Okay, sure, whatever. Simian Spirit Guide, it's a good draw here. Don't love Stomp, but someday we'll draw a mana source. That is another red card, so I can start making decisions if I draw a Chrome Mox. Let's just draw a mountain and not worry about it. Alright, so we're passing the turn here. Trinisphere is losing relevance quickly. Ooh, opponent, no land, no play. I'll take that. Yes. Play the land version. Yes, I would like to pay 3 life. And do I Trinisphere or Moon Magus first? Trinisphere for sure. Alright, here comes 3 ball. Okay. Trinisphere's in. My opponent is not casting spells for a very long time. If they find another Wasteland, which they obviously didn't have last turn or they would have fired it off, they can start doing stuff. Alright, so I think I want Moon Magus in. That protects me from Wasteland. It also makes them commit to this fetch land, which can't fetch a Volcanic Island, by the way. If this is Blue-Red Delver, because, like, Burn doesn't play Wasteland. Like, the decks I'm trying to think of that have basic Mountain, Wooded Foothills, Wasteland in them, it's basically Blue-Red Delver, beginning and end of at least normal list. Maybe Goblins. Okay, it could be Goblins. It's definitely Goblins. Alright, figured it out at the last second there. Alright, so drawing a land to turn my Stomp on is going to be a big deal. Ooh, they just... Oh, yeah, because they have Rashadan Port. I am not gonna block yet. Come on, land. Just basic mountain. Put it in my hand. Too much to ask. It's always too much to ask. I could lose to a variety of things now. They have Goblin Warchief and they can attack. Does this list have fewer mana sources than average? Like, what's going on here? We're 3 games in and they've all just... I've been unable to cast my spells. Or maybe Wasteland is just heinously potent against this deck, and I gotta live with that. Why would they attack last turn, but... Oh, they're trying to Muxus me next turn. Ugh. Alright, I'm getting Muxused. Because the reduce the cost on Warchief bridges the gap. Yeah, there's the land. Here's the Muxus. Maybe it'll whiff. Even if it whiffs, I'm just gonna die to this, 4/4. And it's also just not gonna whiff. Okay. Alright. Yeah, harsh. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. There are 17 actual lands, plus the Chrome Mox, that's 21, plus the Shatterskull smashing, that's 25 mana sources, plus the Simian Spirit Guide, 29. Like, full half of my deck is mana. Alright, what do I do against goblins? Is Curse Totem good here? Activate abilities of creatures. No, goblins have triggered abilities, not activated ones. I want the Ballista in the deck, and I want a Braids in the deck. Chalice of the Void is not great. Blood Moon is actually terrible. I mean, terrible is strong, but they are a mono red deck. It turns off Wasteland and Rajadon Port at least, and it can hurt their splash color. But in general, I think it is worse than I want it to be. Magus of the Moon is at least a body in play. Chalice of the Void can turn off Goblin Lackey sometimes. Like, if they don't have Cavern, Chalice sometimes works. I'm gonna, I think, do I want to move on to more war bosses? Like, challenging their board presence is going to be part of this game because they have a lot of single cards that can just beat me if left unchecked, like Lackey. So there's one war boss, and I think Karn is probably among the clunkiest cards left here. Alright, this is my plan. Okay, so what's going on here? I have a... this looks good. I just have to figure out how to sequence it. So I have Chrome Mox, Pitching Spirit Guide. I can turn one War Boss, and then... or I could Chrome Mox, Pitching War Boss, pitch Spirit Guide, play Chandra, and just start drawing extra cards. Oh, Chandra can cast Challenge on one. Alright, that's the line. I'm literally going to put my entire hand out of my hand this turn. And then Chandra will draw an extra card every turn and eventually pop off. That's the plan. Alright, this is going to be a nice how it started, how it's going meme for Twitter. Just 7 cards in hand, then 0. Alright, so pitch Spirit Guide. Pitch War Boss. There's War Boss, City, Chandra, +2 for mana on Chandra, and Chalice of the Void. Boom, there's my whole hand. That was enough. Alright, let's take it. Let's do that some more. Alright, so all the awkwardness of the first 3 games kind of recouped by the insanity of that one. I think Ensnaring Bridge being a Karn bullet is still better than being in the deck, and that's the only change I would really consider, so right back in, same deck. Let's do that again. This hand has a turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Karn. If I draw a red source, it has turn 2 Chandra. If they have a Lackey start, this hand's not very good. I'll keep, though. A Lackey start is really bad for me. A Wasteland is very bad for me. So, I mean, I can play through a Wasteland. I do have a lot of mana in this hand. I can play through a Wasteland, just not if it also comes with a Lackey. Opponent mulled to 5. Opponent mulled to 4. They only need 3 cards to win this game, though. Mountain, Lackey, Muxus. So let's hope that's not the case. Wasteland, no Aether Vial, go. Love it. Love to see that. So the mountain is nice. I assume they're just going to waste me. So I'm going to put the Ancient Tomb out, cast my Chalice. And if they want to Wasteland me on 3 cards when I have Chalice on 1, that'll set them back pretty far. So I don't think they actually can afford to waste me here. Yeah, so they didn't just crack it off. Okay, they drew their card for turn, then cracked it off. Which makes sense. There's no reason to do it on my turn. Like, see what you're going to draw. I'm constantly chiding opponents for not waiting the appropriate amount of time to Wasteland. Alright, so I'm going to just play Mountain and pass here. I want to pop off just Surprise Chandra next turn. Like, if they do put a creature... Like, I'm not going to pitch Chandra and play City of Traitors so I can get Magus of the Moon into play. Like, who gives a shit? That card doesn't matter. Chandra is definitely where I want to be. Nice. Second Moon Magus makes a real easy pitch for the Chrome Mox. And then if they want to waste me and face down Chandra, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna plus for the 2 damage probably. Yeah, I can't cast that spell, so take 2. Here we go. Now I think if they waste me, they lose. Because they clearly don't have spells that cost 1 or 2. Yeah, they're just dead. Alright, prison shit. Also, the Malta 4 didn't hurt. On to the next round. I'm on the play for round number 3. I have the turn 1 Chalice, but no follow-up. And basically, like, we determined that 29 of the cards in my deck are mana sources. There are 23 cards in my deck. We have it, like, slightly more favorable than a coin flip to hit the next mana source next turn, at which point the hand performs. But I think I'm gonna live by my own rule of never keep a sketchy 7 in the London Mulligan world. So I'm gonna mulligan. This one doesn't ramp at all. Do I want to try 5? Yeah, I guess. Okay, we found a turn 1 3-ball for our efforts. So I can 3-ball on 1, Magus on 2, and I have to ship the Chalice and the Chandra. Yeah, and I just get murked by Wasteland in between, but I'm always going to get murked by Wasteland. Ooh, awkward though. I'm going to lose the city anyway when I play my mountain. It's fine. I'm going to keep this and send the Chalice and Chandra to the bottom. Chalice. Yeah, I'm never casting Chandra with this hand. Okay, let's hope that this is a deck that can't beat Trinisphere. Exile Spirit Guide. Here comes 3-ball. Let's go. It just resolved against opponent of Malta 6. Maybe they'll just concede. Just don't Wasteland me. Verdant Catacombs. Okay. Verdant Catacombs is fine. I can put that in the moon. Oh, that was a great draw, actually. Because now I can Magus the Moon and keep my City of Traders. Yeah, they're going to fetch now to at least get a color under them. Some sort of swamp deck. That mulled to 6 and seemed to immediately... Oh, okay. Is this Doomsday? Yeah, what deck would have Verdant Catacombs and Basic Island in it? Guess it could be like basically any kind of bug situation. Alright, I have been pretty fortunate in my draws. I have kept the development going. Now I just need to find a payoff. Oh, they are full bug, and they just have 1, 2, 3 basics through my moon. Grist the Hunger Tide. That's probably really good. Okay, let's draw a Rabble Master. I don't hate Chalice, so I'm gonna attack Grist. So they can just no block and then use Grist to kill Magus, or they can make a second insect and double block next turn. Okay, now I'm gonna face the hardest test of this entire league, which is if I can cast Chalice of the Void under Trinisphere. Magic Online did a weird thing in one of their updates that made this super hard to do, but I talked to Chalice of the Void and Trinisphere expert Phil Gallagher yesterday, and hopefully I know how to do this. Let's try it. Oh my god, I did it. I did it on the first try. Okay, so let me walk you through this. So you have to announce Chalice, and then it'll prompt you to adjust or cancel. Adjust, set X to 1, then hit OK. And now it's going to ask you to pay the 3rd mana, and the done option appears. Thank you, Phil. Okay. All right. Finally figured that one out. There's a lot of videos where I just can't figure that out. Phil's the best. Wow, another forest. What are they doing over there? All right, now I need to actually draw spells because they can double block Grist. Oh my god, Questy Bestie. I'm dead. Like, they just hit their land drops, played right through a Trinisphere, played a 3-drop, a 4-drop. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what can still win this game, and I don't think I have anything. I can Shatter Skull Smash. This would have been a great draw if they didn't also have Questing Beast, but of course they do. Alright, so I'm going to play this. I guess Chandra can at least kill the Questing Beast if I rip it, but then I lose Chandra to the Grist. Yeah, not winning this game. This is definitely some sort of Bug Green Sun Zenith deck, by the way. Like, you can Zenith for Grist, you can Zenith for Questing Beast. These are the kind of bullets that you want to look for with your tutor spell. So, this is a mid-range Bug Zenith deck with at least 4 basic lands. Maybe more. Okay, there's Uro. And I'm going to take one more draw step, and if it's not Chandra, I'm going to concede. And if it is Chandra, I'm probably still going to concede. Alright, here comes the Questing Beast. They can do something with Grist. Yeah, they're just making another insect. And I'm dead. Okay. Yep. Just play basic lands. Like I said in the deck tech, basic lands. This deck is heavily reliant on the Blood Moon doing anything. And if it doesn't, you're in trouble. Okay, so probably want a Braid and War Boss in this deck. Like, if they are able to play that effectively under a Trinisphere and a Blood Moon, I need to get the game over quickly, because I can't rely on the prison to do it. And I think Chalice gets a whole lot worse in these matchups, because Zenith can dance around Chalice pretty effectively. I probably still want some number of them, but I don't want more than one, that's for sure. And on the play, I think I do still want some critical mass of Blood Moons, but not all 8. Probably 7 is a good number, because I can pitch them to Chrome Mox, even if they're not great. Karn seems important. Karn for Ensnaring Bridge seems like one of the outs that I have in the deck. Maybe I get rid of a Moon Magus? No, I think Magus is better than Blood Moon, just because it has power and toughness. Fire Confluence, too good. Trinisphere. And Green Sun Zenith also plays really well around Trinisphere. But I do think Trinisphere is more effective than Blood Moon. Maybe that's not even true. Alright, this is the plan. Because they showed me their deck just has 3 and 4 drops they're pretty happy to cast, and Zenith for 2 gets through Trinisphere anyway. I would like to play first, and I'm going to keep. They do get to make a play before I do anything, but I have turn 2 Magus or turn 2 Rabble Master. I think that just having this banger after banger threat is a better plan to win this matchup than mulling to 5 for a turn 1 play. Chandra is definitely the best card against this creature deck with their own planeswalkers. So Mountain Go, which I'm sure my opponent is extremely relieved to see. They have a Verdant Catacombs, that's smart. Even if they kept a hand with a basic in it, they should play a fetch land now when I don't have a Blood Moon in play. Alright, I'm going to lead on Moon Magus. This is the more disruptive one. This does take me off 3 mana for Rabble Master. But if they spend any effort removing Moon Magus, then I get to pivot onto Rabble Master when they have less removal in their hand. They could just Fatal Push this, untap, and cast spells. And if they have Fatal Push, I'm kind of hoping this is what they target. Okay. That happened. Prismatic Vista, that's pretty good. Now they get to do all kinds of stuff. Baleful Strix, also really good. Baleful Strix doesn't actually line up that well against Goblin Rabble Master. Right, that was even better. I think getting Chandra into play is my priority right now, because she makes mana on future turns as well. I think I just want to roast the Strix. If they have a haste creature, good for them. But if they have Assassin's Trophy, I'm going to be glad I got my value where I could. And I have 6 mana going into next turn, which I can Moon Magus plus Rabble Master. So this gets the Forest, so they're all the way set up. And Scavenging Ooze. Alright, there's 2 creatures to eat here, but only one at a time. Ooh, Smashing. Smashing! Alright, do I want to smash this Ooze? Or do I just want to play a land? Or do I want to play... So I can just deal 2 to this thing for 4 mana and make no other plays. I can deal 2 to this. I could plus Chandra for damage, I think that getting some creatures into play is what I want to do, though. So I'm going to add red to my pool. Then play Magus of the Moon. And then I can play Smashing, but I think I don't want to. Yeah, I do think this will be better as Shatterskull Smashing than it will as the land. So I'm just going to pass the turn with this newfound board state. I could have played the Rabblemaster after combat, but this creature doesn't have lifelink, so it doesn't really matter that I just lost a token to it. So they're probably going to attack Chandra with Scavenging Ooze, and then I'll have to make a decision. I'll just block with Magus, because Magus isn't really doing anything to hurt them, and my Ancient Tomb does help me. Okay, now that they've brainstormed, like, they don't have fetch lands to shuffle Brainstorm. Zenith can still shuffle Brainstorm, though. So there is some back and forth here. I'm still not going to let them just kill Chandra with Scavenging Ooze, though. Not when I have the Smashing, which can clear the Ooze, and then Rabblemaster can start rabbling. So if they have Abrupt Decay, they can just take out... Yeah, okay. So they can just take out my blocker that I would like to block with. And yeah, which also turns on the Ooze. So now I do have to just lose Chandra. Yeah, I'm not going to lose Rabblemaster for this. I have a backup Chandra. And then I can pivot onto that, bring my Rabble Beats. The really scary thing is that they can tutor for Questing Beast next turn with a land drop. Now they don't need a land drop, so they just have Questing Beast if they want it. The second Smashing is nice. Do I need to play around Daze? I really don't want to lose to Daze. Noble Hierarch. I guess I need to leave Goblin Rabblemaster back on combat because I don't want to lose Chandra to Noble Hierarch. Alright, so I'm gonna attack with just Goblin Token. Alright, Goblin Token is in. And alright, hope they don't have Daze. I don't want to take 3 damage in this board state. Okay, we're in there. I'm gonna roast the Ooze. And now I will play the second Smashing and not pay 3 life for it. So I can big smash next turn. I can smash for 4, 3, 4, 5. I can smash for 5 with what's on board. If they Zenith for Questing Beast, I'm just gonna lose Chandra and take a bunch of damage here. Yep, there it is. And Questing Beast is really good. So I take 5 and Chandra dies here. And 1, 2, 3. I can only smash for 3. Which is not enough to kill Questing Beast. Let me tell you. Yep. Questing Beast, man. When it hits me, it also hits my Planeswalker. So good. So good. Also Vigilance. Just put every word on that one. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I can kill the Questing Beast at the cost of going to 2 life. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can also Karn for nothing helpful. So I think I just have to take my medicine here because I'm dead if I don't. It's a forced play, as they say. Yes, I'll pay 3 life. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pay some more life. Shatterskull Smashing, deal 4 to this. There we go. It's removed. I can't tap Ancient Tomb anymore. I can't attack with Rabblemaster either because I would just die to a second Noble Hierarch. This is a rough spot, it's safe to say. Let's just hope that their cards in hand are not helpful. Don't just have another Zenith for some banger I can't beat. Or they could also just like Witherbloom command and kill me. Alright, they're going to attack me to 1 with this Noble Hierarch. Uro is also a powerful last card to have in your hand. The good news is I do have a Tormod's Crypt in my sideboard. They drew Dryad Arbor. So the Uro was able to trigger and put a second threat into play. Alright, so what this game looks like to me is Karn, wish for Tormod's Crypt, bomb them, double block the Dryad Arbor, and then Karn wish for something else on the following turn. Walking Ballista, perhaps. Yes, let's do this. Get the Tormod's Crypt. Gonna bomb their shit right now. Don't let them get to their main phase where they can Uro me. Gonna have to double block Dryad Arbor with my Gobos. And then... is the Ballista still in my sideboard? Yes, it is. Okay, that's lucky. Oh no! My life is shit. Okay, well now I just chump block the Goblin with a Goblin, and Ballista still gets control of this board. That's fine. This thing doesn't trample. That was a really good draw. Alright, chump. Rabble Master just saving the day by providing chumps. That's not normally what it does, but it's pretty good here. I'm also pretty happy with Mountain. Keeping my hand low, in case I need to get the bridge, is pretty important. Yeah, Ballista is the get. Okay, so Ballista is currently ready to party. I probably could have attacked with the Goblin, honestly. No, that's not true, because if they draw a removal spell for Ballista, I would lose if I attack with Goblin. My plan is whatever they attack with, I ping it, and then I go to my turn and start juicing up Ballista with extra counters. Oh, they just drew Witherbloom command. Great. Alright, dead. That was pretty competitive. It took some strong draws at the end there. We were ahead if they didn't draw command to win the game. But, man, tight game. On to round number 4. On the draw for the 4th round, and we have an actual Red Prison kind of hand. This is the first turn 1 play, or it's not the first, I think last game I did it too, but this is a turn 1 banger, turn 2 banger kind of hand. Alright, we got a Flooded Strand to start it off. And Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alright, I mean, this is a rough time to be a Ancient Tomb deck, but it's okay. I do have several stomps available to me, and I am going to move in on my 3-ball. And this deck has Daze and Force of Will in it, and Wasteland. Oh wow, 3 balls in. If they waste me and just attack me with this Dragon's Rage Channeler a bunch of times, that's bad. But I do have Mountain into City, and if they waste me, it takes them off spells for a few turns. That'll actually be kind of an interesting decision, but I waste here. If it's me, I'm firing off that Wasteland. Oh, they didn't waste. So I can stomp their fella. I'm gonna do it now before they can pay 3 mana for anything. Alright, just stomp that. Get it out. Pressure's off. Now if they waste me, they're behind a turn. They're not casting spells for a while, and I have the city to regrow. Alright, yeah, I think we're winning this one. This is actually interesting. No, it's not. I was about to say, like, do I play the Mountain to get stable mana under me? But no, I go Bonecrusher Giant this turn, Karn next turn, Bonecrusher Giant the turn after that. And they didn't play a land last turn. Yeah, okay. Cheesy peasy. Against Blue-Red Delver. Abrade. The removal is important. I think that this is also a matchup where... Is this a matchup where I need to clock them? I think that Legion Warboss is probably better than Magus of the Moon. This deck does have red spells, including Lightning Bolt, so Magus of the Moon specifically is kind of shitty. Blood Moon, so even though they can play on red mana, and they do play at least one basic island, losing their fetch lands and the manipulation of their cantrips, like that's all matters a lot. So Blood Moon does still have text here. Chalice of the Void is really good in this matchup as well. I think Karn is a bit of a clunker. And on the draw, I don't know if I want Trinisphere. Though, I mean, Trinisphere is real good. And I was on the draw last game. Trinisphere won the game on the draw last game. Does anything... I gotta cut one more card here. I'm just trying to figure out do any of the lock pieces make sense to cut, or do I just need all of them? I can't cut any mana against the Wasteland Daze deck, that's for sure. There's probably some like critical mass of 4-drops that is too many for this matchup. Like, but if they get to Murktide Regent, then I'm gonna really need this Ensnaring Bridge, and Karn is my path to get it. I think maybe I'll just lose another Magus of the Moon. Yeah, it's Moon Magus versus Trinisphere, basically, is my decision. And I think Trinisphere will do more if it resolves. So on the draw here, opponent mulled to 6. I have a city hand that can play Blood Moon or Chalice with Daze backup or Rabblemaster. I'm going to keep this on the draw. I'm going to have to ride the numbers that my deck is more than 50% mana sources at this point, and I have my draw step for my first turn and my draw step for my second turn before I need to find the land drop. But, I mean, Wasteland is going to be bad for me. Pretty much regardless. Leading on Ponder is a nice gift, though. Opponent mauled to 6. I think that playing Chalice of the Void with Simian Spirit Guide as Secret Daze backup is pretty nice. Though, now I can play anything with Secret Daze backup. Like, I could... Actually, I think that I just convinced myself getting Blood Moon into play to play around Wasteland and still having Daze backup is nice. That does mean I'm going to have to pitch either Chandra or Confluence, and I think Confluence is the worst of the two. So Confluence, and then here comes Blood Moon. Alright, just resolved. Didn't even need my Secret Daze backup. Alright, so they have blue and red over there. There's Delver. Chandra can kill that at some point. Alright, Channeler. Land would be great draw. Okay, I'll take it. Play Shatterskull. I don't need to pay 3 because of Blood Moon. And I think I would like to play the Chalice first. I understand I'm under the gun from some creatures here, but I think controlling what spells they can cast, or at least what spells are going to resolve, is going to be a pretty important aspect of this game. They kept their card off Surveil, so we did successfully just bait a Force of Will here. They're going to get a flip off of... Oh, Delver didn't flip. They kept their Surveil, and then Delver didn't flip. Okay, keeping Ragavan makes sense. That does make mana in this sick manaless world that I've forced them to live in. They flipped a mountain off the top of my deck. They can only cast spells off Ragavan. They don't get to play my land. So, Rag and a 1/1 and a Delver that could flip at any point. All scary stuff. I want to just get this 2/2 into play, and it even gets in a place where I get to attack for 1. And by get to, I mean have to. And I think that the way this game is shaping up, Simian Spirit Guide is going to be better as Simian Spirit Guide than as a red mana. Delver failed to flip again. That's excellent news for me. The longer Delver goes without flipping, the better Chandra's going to be. Wish I had a mana to send that back, but I don't. Okay, that's gone. But now that means my Goblin doesn't have to attack. Ragavan's doing some work here. No surprise there. The card's really good. Especially against decks without a whole lot of removal. Alright. Did they play a land this turn? It doesn't matter. Alright, Rabblemaster's gone. Yikes. That was a close one. So their only card in hand right now is Ragavan. A Mystic Confluence will eventually do something. So I can put Chandra into play. And if I kill Delver, that gives them Delirium for Dragon's Rage Channeler. I think I want to just cast Simian Spirit Guide for now and block the board. If at any point they just cast Ragavan and I can sweep up everything with Mystic Confluence, then life is good. Alright, Daze. That's good to know about at least. So here comes the chunks. Please cast Ragavan. Please cast Ragavan. Alright, they will not be fooled. Mana Source, perhaps? Alright, so I can Fiery Confluence around Daze. And then Chandra next turn, but I get hit with Ragavan in between. I guess I should attack if I'm gonna sweep this up. Oh, wait a minute. No. So if I kill Delver with Chandra instead of Confluence the board, then that does give them Delirium for this thing. It has to spend a turn attacking Chandra, but then, yeah, I think that Confluence is my better play here. Even if it commits me to getting hit by a Ragavan. Because this Chandra is going to need to do some serious heavy lifting this game. Okay, deals 1 damage to each creature. I want that to happen twice. The same damage that would place Delver in the graveyard also places Dragon's Rage Channeler in the graveyard at the same time. So I think destroying one of their clues is also worth more than dealing 2 damage. Like, I don't want them to be able to get their own Chandra into play next turn. Okay, 1 to each creature twice, and destroy target artifact. Destroy a clue. And the board is empty. Their hand is Ragavan. Pretty sure I understand the rules of how this works. Because Delver and Channeler would die at the same time. Like, there's no point where Channeler is in play looking at a dead Delver in the graveyard. Alright, the floating mana off the clue is free. Oh no, I just fucked up. I just fucked up bad. I needed to deal 2 to them because now this gets countered because its only legal target is gone. This is the old Cryptic Command trick. Oh no, I was thinking so hard about Delirium, I forgot about like the basic rules. Yeah, that's just fucking fizzles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've made a huge mistake. Outthought myself. Noticed it just a little too late. I'm gonna lose for that. Yeah, now they have a Ponder. Wow. That might have been the worst play I've made on camera in a long time. Right, they did not mill. So they must like what they see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm dead to a lightning bolt. Just on board dead. Wow. Blew that one real good. Here comes the damage. They did not shuffle their... So they didn't mill their Surveil, and they didn't shuffle their Ponder. Like, they have what they want. Here comes something. Okay, Expressive Iteration. That's not the lightning bolt I was afraid of, but it is still pretty bad. Alright, well, I get to cast Chandra, kill Delver, and then die to the other thing. Yeah, that Fire Confluence was my chance to play this game, and I blew it. I don't think I have any outs left. Yeah, certainly not that. Alright. Yeah, fucked it right up. Alright, if you don't understand what just happened, if a spell goes to resolve and has no legal targets, the spell is countered on resolution by the game rules. And the 2 modes that deal damage to creatures don't target. If it was like deal 1 to target creature, deal 2 to target player, destroy target artifact, it wouldn't matter if they sacked the clue. But because that is the only targeting mode, they can just sack the clue to fizzle the whole spell. Yuck. Alright, well, at least I punted hard in a game I was already behind in. I think... Do I want Walking Ballista in the deck, or do I want to get it with Karn? That is a serious question. I think I do want Karn to have some action. I'm actually going to switch over to Magus of the Moon because Ragavan is such a beating. Like, even if they do Lightning Bolt Magus of the Moon, when they couldn't Lightning Bolt Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon at least has power and toughness and can block a Dragon's Rage Channeler or trade with a Ragavan. All of that's going to be pretty important. And yeah, I don't think I want the rest of this stuff. All right, let's dumpster on the play here. I have a 1-lander. It does play the Chalice, but then it doesn't do anything. I can't keep this. I can probably keep this. So let's look at what this hand actually does. It casts Chalice and then casts Rabblemaster. Okay, I think that's enough for a hand to do. And I want to get rid of one of the Chrome Moxen. This is a hand that is going to hurt if they have Force of Will Wasteland. But like, I'm pretty reasonable against one or the other. And if this Chalice resolves, that goes a long way. They did just easily keep 7, though. Alright, Chalice resolved. That's the start. So, Scalding Tarn. Probably not playing any spells this turn. Even if you dash Ragavan, dash lets you cast it for an alternate cost, and Ragavan's mana value is still 1. So, Chalice will still get it. I don't have the luxury of playing around daze, and if they daze my Rabblemaster, it sets them back a turn, where that's another turn they can't play through Chalice. So hopefully we just get a cheesy one-card game, just Chalice coast to coast. And Rabblemaster's in. They can't bolt it because of Chalice. If they spend a turn answering Chalice, that's another turn Rabblemaster gets to Rabble. So, I mean, this opening hand has done what I asked it to do. Let's just hope it's good enough. There's the Wasteland. But if they waste me, they're behind, far enough behind on board, that's a problem. Jesus. Alright, Meltdown. The Meltdown technology is here. Showed up strong. Red Source. Alright, that might be even better. Alright, here's a Chalice. They can waste me onto just a exclusively Goblin Rabblemaster game. Like, I'm about to miss my land drop, and they're going to see that. But the Volcanic Island doesn't really do anything right now. They're pretty far off of Murktide Regent still. Trying to figure out how I lose. The Expressive Iteration doesn't impact the board. They're taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're taking 8 next turn from the Rabblemaster. They need to answer both Chalice and Rabblemaster before they're dead. Didn't waste me. Come on, Mountain. Let's punish. No, okay. They decided to waste me. That was the right idea. Didn't turn out to matter, but it was definitely the correct play. Alright, they're at 3. They are dead to a Rabblemaster by itself if they can sweep the Goblins, and they're dead to the Goblins if they can kill the Rabblemaster. This is very much a scrap over the finish line, hope it works situation. That Meltdown was fucked up, though. Get your Meltdowns, folks. We're getting the GGs in the chat. Just firing their Blazing Volley into my Chalice. They're going to play 2 more 1-drops into Chalice as well. Yep, Lightning Bolt. Chalice of the Void is pretty good against Delver. And we're in there. Okay, that was a tight one. With a big punt in game 2, but hopefully important lessons learned about how spells work in Magic the Gathering. On the play, in the final round, playing for the positive record, and we have a turn 1 Trinisphere. Sign me up for that. I'm going to pitch Confluence to the Mox. That's the one that I think I'm going to need the least. If Trinisphere works, then you don't need Mana Confluence. Alright, we have just 3-ball on the play. See what we're playing against. We're in a fortunate situation that even if they do waste me, I can still Rebel. I think this Rabblemaster is going to coast to coast. I could Chandra instead, actually. Which of these is actually better? Chandra generates card advantage over time. Yeah, I guess digging up to the Chandra emblem is a pretty big deal. Yes, I'll pay 3 life. And turn 2 Chandra. After my turn 1 Trinisphere. These are the games. Alright, I'm just gonna deal 2 to them. I can't cast that even if I wanted to. Take 2. Why is this still in exile? Alright, I don't know why Chalice gets its own exile zone over there, but here we are. Alright, I'm gonna play my city and plus Chandra, see if I find a spell to cast. Nope, just a land. Can't cast lands, so it doesn't even ask. Here's Rabblemaster. So, all right, yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The Trinisphere into Chandra was not enough. So this could be Esper Vial, could be some sort of dead guy L. We should assume that Stoneforge Mystic is in this deck. At least I think that's a reasonable assumption to make. So I think I want my Abrades. And do I want my Curse Totem? Hasn't come in yet, but activated abilities of creatures can't be activated. That's one of the only ways I have to keep a Cauldra out of play. I can control a Cauldra with Ensnaring Bridge, but okay, so the best way my deck can beat Cauldra is to kill the Stoneforge Mystic or keep it from ever coming into play. So I currently have 4 Stomps, 2 Abrades, 3 Chandra, 2 Fiery Confluence, and that's the ways that I can do that. Seems medium, but it's alright. If this is Esper Vial, I want as many moon effects as possible. If it is some sort of dead guy or like Stoneblade Taxes variant, Magus of the Moon is kind of mediocre. Karn's going to be pretty good either way. So I think I am going to cut to Moon Magi for the 2 Abrades, and that's going to be my entire sideboard, at least until I know more about their deck. On the draw, I have a turn 1 Chalice, and then a turn 3 Chandra. I don't know if this is good, but I am going to keep the Chalice. Oh, here's Marsh Flats. Is it Aether Vial? Is that what you're doing? Swamp Duress. Okay, so Duress can take Chalice. It can take any of these cards, but I suspect it will take Chalice. Yeah, okay. Oh, Rabble. Okay, so I'm going to play my basic mountain. I don't want to get Wasteland tempoed out of this game, and I can Rabble next turn. If they just jam Stoneforge Mystic right now, we're in some trouble. Ooh, Street Wraith. What is going on? What deck has Marsh Flats, Basic Swamp, Karakas, and Street Wraith in it? Is this some sort of combo deck? Alright, well, they can't take Rabble Master with this. I suspect Chandra will be the take, unless their plan is Stoneforge Mystic. But Shatterskull Smashing and Chandra are both 4 mana answers to a Stoneforge Mystic, so that doesn't actually change anything. They're definitely on a brew. Like, this doesn't make sense to my brain. I'm gonna Blood Moon, just for prison considerations. I don't know how many colors they play, or even what they all are. We've seen Esper colors. Oh, interesting. They fetched a mountain. They already had a mountain. Why fetch another one? Maybe they only have the... Okay, no. The other basic was in their hand. That's why they did that. So this gets Rabbler into play. They could have Swords to Plowshares. Looks like they don't. So we're starting to Rabble. And we have drawn a respectable combination of lands and spells since we've been duressed twice. They don't know about the Karn yet. If they are some sort of combo deck, like what deck has Duress and Street Wraith right in the main deck, and then also is Esper? Is it like some weird Doomsday variant? I just don't know. Esper Doomsday, is that a thing? It's all unclear to me. No idea. Alright, well here's Karn. I even can play around Daze, but they can't cast Daze, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna wish for Tormod's Crypt, like, just in case. I don't actually know. No idea what they're doing, but they have Street Wraith in their deck, so it could be broken. And Tormod's Crypt is my best thing against potential broken decks. Alright, they've conceded. We'll never know what they're playing. That's just going to have to be one of life's great mysteries, but we did end up with a positive record in the league. So, some awkward mulligans to kick off the league, and this deck is certainly susceptible to that. Like, the London mulligan helps a lot, but this deck does want, like, exactly 3 mana, a prison piece, and a threat over its 5 to 7 cards it gets to start the game with. And a lot of the ways that it has to jump mana are card disadvantageous, like Chrome Mox and Simian Spirit Guide. So, and then, like, your Blood Moon turns your soul lands into mountains, so that also sets you back a land. So there's, like, a real tightrope act happening in this deck. Like some hands, like we saw, sometimes you just play turn 1 Chandra and Chalice of the Void, and your hand is empty and they concede. But other games, like you really have to think about like the navigation and the sequence and like how you're gonna how do you beat like the Delver on board and the Ragavan in hand and like map out multi-turn lines. So that's pretty cool. But other times you just mulligan to non-functional 5-card hands. So this felt like a deck without Brainstorm to me. Some powerful stuff, some not so powerful stuff. Sometimes we drew exactly what we needed in the mid game. Sometimes we drew 3 lands in a row and died. And you're a deck without Brainstorm. You're a deck without selection. Karn and Chandra are the closest thing to card selection that you have here. And that they cost 4 to get started. And then they cost more to do anything with those cards you select. So this is definitely a raw power over nuance sort of thing. It's not really my style, but it is powerful. I managed to put up a 3-2 even after making some pretty big errors due to unfamiliarity or brain farts along the way. So powerful stuff. Basic lands are popular. Even the Delver decks right now have basic lands in them. This isn't like the Grixis or Rug Domination days where they were on mono non-basics and a Blood Moon actually could end a game. Like Blue-Red Delver is the go-to. They play basic islands, so no guarantees. And we saw how powerful Wasteland is against us. So if the best deck in the format is a deck with basic island, Daze, and Wasteland, I think this is kind of a risky choice. But I mean, pick your spot. If this is your style, I saw a lot of mistakes I did make. I probably didn't even see a lot of other mistakes I made. So if you're a prison expert, please let me know in the comments what you saw that I missed or how you would do things differently. Happy to talk about it. Caleb, thank you so much for submitting this deck. It is fun to be the bad guy once in a while, and glad I could put up at least a positive record for it, and made some cool plays, learned some cool lessons along the way. Everyone else, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Come back for future videos, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.